Brothers, sisters, welcome back. Guys, you know how everything in life cycles? It's just a revolving door. Music, fashion. All the kids are wearing those super wide pants again. Those were popular in the early 2000s. I wore those in school growing up. Shout out to my 90s babies. And now they're back. Same thing with skinny jeans. Those were popular in the 80s and then they came back and then now we're back to the wide jeans. It's just everything is just cycling around. Music, corn and Slipknot used to be on TRL, which was like the most mainstream music platform of the time. And metal and rock music was like super mainstream. And I'm waiting for that to cycle back. Hopefully it does. But regardless, when you look at drums, brothers and sisters, this is an old vintage drum kit. This is from like the 50s or 60s ish, something like that. And you can see we got a shallow tom, shallow bass drum. Floor tom is deep, and that's the style. Here's another one. Deep floor tom, shallow bass drum. Okay, it's probably like a 22 by 14. That was a popular bass drum size during that time. And then as time went on, eventually you got around to the 80s, and you got these Johns. You got these big power toms, these rocker toms, whatever they call them, really deep. And it looks atrocious, brother. No offense, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, a drum kit's a drum kit, but thank God I wasn't playing drums in the 80s, because I would have went to the store to buy a new drum kit, and this is what I would have gotten. This is what everyone had. My dad had one. This was the style, right? You could think of all the drummers that played on these. Tommy Lee, Phil Collins had kits like that at times. So that's what it did. And then as time went on, here's another pic. Yeah, you can see. Look how high up those toms are over the bass drum. Not a fan of it, brother. Not going to lie. And then as time went on, around the 90s and 2000s era, you got this, which was somewhere in the middle, right? Not too deep, not too shallow of these toms. I'm really mainly talking about these rack toms. Like, say if you take a 12-inch tom from the 50s, it would have been a 12 by 8, okay? And then in the 80s, it would have been like a 12 by 10 or deeper. And then in the 90s, they cut it right in the middle, so like a 12 by 9. 90s, 2000s-ish, right? They just cut it right in the middle somewhere. In fact, this is what DW is still doing. DW's standard sizes are a 10 by 8, 12 by 9, and then they do a 16 by 14 and a 22 by 18 bass drum. So they have that same, I mean, that's their standard sizes, right? Whereas a lot of these modern, a lot of the other companies went back to shallow. So let me show you like a modern looking kit, with the exception of DW, which you can still get a DW in those sizes. But this right here is what most of the companies, this is like what a modern kit is looking like. We got the 10 by 7, 12 by 8 shallow toms, and then, you know, the bass drum is a little deeper still. It's like a mix of both kind of still, but we did go back to the shallow toms. That's like what's in right now. Yamaha too. Here's a Yamaha Recording Custom, one of the dopest drum kits ever. So the Stage Customs, those were like DW sizes, like 10 by 8, 12 by 9. And then they, maybe like 5 or so years ago, they switched and they made them more shallow. This is all like this is cycling back, these shallow toms. They've cycled back sometime within the last like 5 years or so. And Mapex did it. In fact, I have this Armory kit that I have right back here. I got it like 10 years ago, and it's a 10 by 8, 12 by 9, right? But then a couple years later, they released the Studio Ease version, which is a shallower tom of the same drums. Here's another one, Tama, same thing, shallow toms. This is the modern size drum kit for the most part. It's cycled back, brothers and sisters, from the vintage times. So my question is, brothers and sisters, are these where is it? Let's pull this one back up. Is this coming back? Okay, that's the question. God, I hope not. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Please drop a comment if you're still watching right now. Hit subscribe too, brothers and sisters. I appreciate that. But drop a comment. I want to know, what do you guys think of this style drum kit? Because I personally, I'm not a fan. I don't like it. I think the ergonomics are trash. It would make me have to like hire everything. Like, I'd have to hire my snare, hire my seat, because the tom is so freaking deep. It's like it's sticking up too high, unless I angle it to hell, Like, look at the way these are angled. I don't know. I'm not a fan, but Is it coming back? That's the question, man. If you look at history in pretty much every aspect of life, like literally, everything cycles, man. It's crazy. So yeah, history's gonna tell me that these are coming back. Damn, that's gonna be a shitty world, bro. I'm gonna be so stubborn when that happens. I don't know if it actually is. I don't know. I just think it's got to, right? What do you guys think? Drop a comment. I want to know what you guys think. But I hope it doesn't, man. I'm not a fan of it. This is what I like right now. This right here is a perfect representation of a modern drum kit with a vintage feel, right? This is what they're doing nowadays. Even like the finishes will cycle. Even finishes, even like guitars and stuff. It happens all over music. If you look at a guitar, back in the early days, it was like a Les Paul, and a Strat, and then you got into the Flying V's and the Explorers, and then the Les Pauls came back. It's a revolving door here, brother. So history tells me that those rocker toms are coming back at some point, and I hope it ain't. I know these shallow toms just came back within the last 5 years. It hasn't been that long. So we're probably going to ride this wave for a while before we make any changes. And I'm here for it because I like where we're at right now. But then again, no matter what era you put me in, I probably would have liked that drum kit, being like a stubborn old man type vibes. But look at this vintage drum kit again. I want to show you these bass drum mutes. Even this cycled. Even these cycle, just in a different way. See this mute right here on the bass drum? Those went away, and then they kind of came back. If you consider an EMAD, it's the dampened head on your bass drum, right? This one has one on the batter side right here. That's instead of an EMAD, that's what they did, right? Whereas the EMAD was nah, brother, we're gonna modernize this. So it just cycled. It just cycled, man. Snare drums too. This is more shallow. Yeah, this is a more shallow drum, and then those deep drums came about eventually, and then we landed somewhere in between, and then now we're kind of back to shallow drums. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting when you think about it, and I really wonder what's going to happen with the future of these drum kits, what they're going to look like, because now we're getting into all these hybrid kits and all these electric, double rubber cymbals, real drums, real cymbals, rubber drums. We're in a cesspool right now of electronics. But, the acoustic drum kit's always going to be around, That's one thing that ain't going away. That's always going to be there. And, yeah, it's just a matter of what they look like, to be honest. So, yeah, drop a comment. I want to know what you guys think. Do you like these 80s-style drum kits? Is this appealing to you when you look at this? Does that say, oh, man, I want... I totally get it if it is. Totally get it. It's drums, right? It doesn't... I love drums, too. At the end of the day, I love this instrument. I just, when we nitpick and we talk about the specifics, it's fun. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like the rocker toms? Do you want them back? Where do you stand, brother? Drop a comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Happy New Year. And I'll be back soon. Peace.